The Program a Pal workshop is a fun activity that allows participants to learn how computer programs actually function. The learning objectives for this workshop are as follows. Participants should be able to recognize that computer programs boil down to a series of commands. They should be able to break a task or process into smaller steps. They should be able to understand that making errors and correcting them is a central part of the design process. And they should be able to improve on a product or process based on observations and field testing. The supplies required for this workshop are a large room, masking tape. If you can get rolls of masking tape that are different colors, that is preferred but not necessary. Blindfolds, pencils or pens, paper, 1 piece per team. Computers, a 1-to-1 ratio is best. However, 2-to-1 is acceptable. And definitely internet access. The procedure for this workshop has 2 stages. Stage 1 is people programming. For this stage of the activity, students will be required to create a set of instructions that makes it possible for a person to read the directions and navigate through the course without going out of bounds. They will be limited in the code they can use. For example, participants will need to use commands such as move forward, move backward, turn right, turn left. The second part of the procedure for stage 1 is you will need to clear a space in a large room, pair up the participants, divide the pairs into equal numbers of groups, divide the large space in the room equally so that each team has the same amount of space. Have each team use their masking tape to create a path in the space provided. The teams may overlap their paths, and this is fine. It will make the game more challenging. Once the paths are created, assign a path to each team. The teams should be using a path they did not create. Have each team decide who will be the programmer and who will be programmed. Use a random method such as rock, paper, scissors, or flipping a coin to decide. Blindfold the person that will be programmed. Then, using step-by-step instructions, the programmer should guide their partner along the path. The programmer will write down the instructions given to their partner. Make sure the programmer tries not to send their partner off course. And be sure to let the programmer know that they can make corrections as their partner moves through the path. Make sure the programmer writes down each step they give to their partner throughout the course. Remove the blindfold from the programmed partner. Now, the person that was the programmer and the person that was being programmed will switch roles. The person who was the programmer before will now be blindfolded, and the person who was being programmed before will now read the program to their partner to get them through the path. The new programmer should receive a set of instructions from the old programmer. Have the new programmer give the instructions that were wrote down to the new programmed partner. The instructions should get the programmed person through the course effortlessly. Once everyone gets through their paths, discuss what happened. Determine whether the second person ended up where they should have. If not, why not? Keep repeating this process until anyone can make it through the course correctly. Tally the number of discrete steps involved in your program. The third part of stage 1 is discussion. Be sure to discuss with participants how they felt about the activity and what they found challenging, and highlight with them some of the learning objectives covered. Stage 2 is actually optional. This is character programming. The goal of this second activity is to successfully complete all 20 levels of the activity. This simple programming activity challenges the participants to create their own interactive game using blocks that represent commands. The introductory video explains this very well. Once the participants begin to interact with the activity, let them work through it at their own pace. The participants can work in pairs. Make sure to have them click the button that says show the code so they can see how similar the code they wrote to get their pal down the path is to the actual code in the software. The procedure for stage 2 is to navigate to the link listed on the workshop. Have the participants watch the introductory clip, which is about 2 minutes, and complete the 20 game building activity. Make sure to have a discussion with participants at the end of the second activity to determine how the computer programming was similar or different to the people programming activity. Discuss challenges and favorites. Whether you include the optional activity or not, be sure to have a post-workout discussion. Use this time to discuss the stages that you completed with the participants and pull together the learning objectives. Make sure that each participant understands the concepts learned in stage 1 and how those concepts were put into practice in stage 2. Discuss how students might use the step-based process in other parts of their life. The Program a Pal workshop is a fun activity that should garner a lot of laughs and build a solid foundation for helping participants understand how computer programs are built.